I want to start off this video with a question. Out of these two characters, who do you find more empowering? Daenerys or Moneypenny? Now, I can't read your minds, but I would guess that most of you went with Daenerys. I even asked my followers on social media, and 83% chose Daenerys on Instagram, whereas on Twitter, it was even. Why do I think that most people chose Daenerys? Because she has qualities that many of us would label as badass or strong. But what about Moneypenny? I think most of us see Moneypenny as someone who is eye candy for Bond and stuck behind the desk as secretary for MI6. And yes, both of those statements are correct. But the thing is, I find Moneypenny empowering, especially the original version of her character that's played by Lois Maxwell, because she's confident and strong enough to risk rejection from Bond. However, this quality isn't seen as badass or strong. It isn't really seen as a strength at all, and that is what I want to discuss in this video. The perception of strength with female characters and what is seen as empowering, and how that has affected the writing of female characters and the perception of women in the media and in our society. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, in society, masculine qualities are always seen as more desirable or ideal, whether it's in leadership or in the workplace. Masculine traits are always seen as better than feminine traits. This has affected how many women have behaved in these roles and environments. Women often feel like they have to be assertive or dominant in order to be heard or respected. However, these traits are also seen as negative attributes for a woman to have, whereas for a man, it makes them respected, it makes them seen, it makes them heard. The same goes with feminine qualities. If a man showcases feminine traits, he's seen as weak. We have been taught that masculine traits should be associated with men and feminine traits with women, and it's this negative perception of gender traits that need to stop. Masculinity and femininity make us human. You can't be human without the two. However, in fiction, we often see that if a woman has masculine traits, she's seen in the media as much more stronger than a woman who has more feminine traits. Let me give you an example. Here are some traits that are considered masculine, and here are some traits that are considered feminine. Don't the masculine traits, in comparison to the female traits, seem much more desirable to have? And that's exactly the reason why, if you chose Daenerys over Moneypenny for the question of who you thought was more empowering, I wouldn't blame you. Daenerys possesses many of the masculine qualities that we are told are much better to have than the feminine traits that Moneypenny possesses, which leads me onto my next point. Whenever we hear the term strong female character, we think of characters like Lara Croft, Rey, Daenerys. But when I hear the term strong female character, I also think of Elizabeth Bennet, Miss Scarlet, and Lucy Pevensey. But they will never be a part of those top 10 strong female character lists that you see online. Why? Because they possess more feminine traits, and as we've seen, feminine traits are not usually seen as strong attributes, especially when a female character is considered strong. The problem with this is that we are teaching women that being feminine is weak, and that's not right at all. In society, femininity has always been associated with submissiveness, passiveness, and subordination. Thus, any trait that is seen as feminine is always viewed through a negative lens. This is why I'm not surprised why the strong female characters have more masculine traits than feminine ones. These strong female characters are often denied romantic interests, or if they do have one, they mostly don't work out in the end. They are also rarely allowed to fail, because failure is for some reason deemed as a weakness. Take Captain Marvel for example. In her origin film, after gaining her supernatural abilities, she doesn't lose a fight, fail to save a loved one, or kill innocents by accident. Now, I'm not saying that these necessarily should have happened in order to prove her strength, but failing is a part of being human. And it's like with these strong female characters, failure is seen as a weakness. That's why we rarely see it happen. And I think by taking away failure, by taking away something that is so essential to living, you are taking away relatability to these characters and making them seem like they are superheroes. And I understand why we need those type of characters, but by not making them real, if that makes sense, by not making them relatable, women and men as well cannot like relate to them and also learn from them, I feel, in my opinion. There's always been one character that I believe, in terms of a balance between masculine and feminine traits, portrays what a female character that's strong should look like, and that's Mako Mori from Pacific Rim. Mako often showcases humility, especially in scenes with her adopted father's stack of Pentecost, but she's also outspoken towards Riley Beckett. She's brave for stepping into a Jaeger, but struggles to rein in her memories of her tragic past when she first pilots Gypsy Danger. She's also skilled at combat and oversees the restoration of old Jaegers. But the thing is, Riley is very similar to her. He's very outspoken and cocky, but is very respectful towards Mako, often putting his ego down when he speaks to her. He's brave, but his bravery often leads him to act recklessly and put others in danger. It even caused the death of his brother, a memory he struggled to rein in when he piloted Gypsy Danger for the first time in years. Mako may be better than him at combat, but his mental strength allowed him to solo pilot Gypsy Danger, making him one of the only 2 pilots to do so. When you compare Mako and Riley with each other, you can see that both of them have a perfect balance of feminine and masculine traits. Feminine traits aren't seen as a negative in either characters. Same goes for masculine traits. Neither traits are reserved for one gender, and that's how I believe both female and male characters should be written. This is something I'm also learning in my life. I've always felt like I've had to appear and behave masculine in order to get respect, and this has affected how I've written female characters. But I'm beginning to see that feminine traits don't make me weak. In fact, they make me just as strong as masculine traits do. And if there's anything that I would love for you to take away from this video, it's that femininity and masculinity make us human. And without the two, we are not human. One is not better than the other, and one is not reserved for one gender. We both have masculine and feminine qualities in all of us, and without it, we are not us. So yeah, just as I'm learning to do this with myself and with my characters, if anything, I would love for it to be something that everyone else can reflect on, and maybe implement in their lives and their storytelling as well. But I would love to start a discussion of this in the comments. How do you feel about strong female characters? Have they impacted you in some way? And yeah, just let me know what you think about the video. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you when I do the next video. Thank you.